how to win a competition. This project is a winning project, and it won a competition that was following an already existing transformation of a former train station into a housing area. You can see the connection here in this part. A part of the train tracks remain, but a lot of other fields and areas of the former train station are not in use anymore and ready for a transformation. The proposal, the original proposal, was very different, or the idea of the city was very different to what we see here. It could be more like that. Blocks, as we are usually having them in Vienna, with streets, courtyards, of course. But the idea of the architect was very different. They opened a wide green field in the middle of the construction and called it the wilderness or the forest. That means this should not be a park. It should grow whatever wants to grow. It should be maintained, but under the aspect of a forest and not under the aspect of or under the requirements of a park. So no cutted grass or whatever you imagine with a park. A more wild, a more rural atmosphere, and a more dense, a higher development on the outskirts of the site. As we can see here, they still have some courtyards, but there are a lot of high-rise buildings placed along this perimeter of the land. And in the heart, this wilderness. So this was the idea, to move out, to keep the amount of built-up space, of course, that was a kind of requirement, but to make it high and dense along the existing infrastructure and leave it as it is in the middle. To compare what the city would have to build are the streets, the infrastructure, the pipes, the tubes, everything what you have in the streets, the canalization, the water supply, the electricity, everything. This would have been the amount of infrastructure that should have been built in this area. And they said, no, we don't do that. We keep it outside. Here you see it even better. Yeah? You see the streets that have to be built, but they said we just need one. And we keep all the constructions along the existing infrastructure. That makes them a bit higher. That makes them a bit more dense, but easily accessible. And we don't, it's a couple of high-rise buildings, but we can provide enough light for the neighboring districts as we step back to this forest where they don't disturb, the shadow doesn't matter. So this was the idea that made this project win. A lot of accessibility, even from the neighboring districts into the park, visually and by walkways. And at the end, a structure that is definitely different from the residential block of the Viennese neighborhoods, and a totally new solution to this kind of urban developments as we saw it in between. Unfortunately, this aerial view doesn't show anything, this satellite image, because it's not yet under construction. There is a discussion about, can a forest be that small? Or should it be a park? And if it's a park, then it's expensive, and who has to maintain it, and things like that. So it's about money. And yeah, this is very typical for all kind of urban projects. It is about money.